Hello children, welcome to the virtual session again. So, here we will continue with the chapter 4, sorting materials into groups. So, here we have seen materials and their properties. Today we are going to learn classification based on solubility. So, materials and their properties, we have learned hardness, we have learned softness, we have learned transparency and all that. So we are going to learn solubility over here. Classification is one of the criteria to classify substances. So classification based on solubility, you are going to write this in your notebook. Soluble substances, some substances completely disappear or dissolve in water. These substances are soluble in water. Example, sugar and salt can be dissolved in water. So please take down this. Some substances which you can easily dissolve in water. The simple one, sugar and salt, you can easily dissolve in water. That's why they are called as soluble substances. Next, we have done classification on transparency, hardness, soluble, insoluble, floatancy, texture and states. So now let us see what is insoluble substances. Other substances do not mix with water and do not disappear even if we stir for a long time. These substances are insoluble in water. For example, stone and clothes cannot be dissolved in water. So, such substances, stones and clothes and many more you can think of which cannot dissolve in water. Like iron, gold, silver, they cannot dissolve in water. So, they are insoluble substances. So, please take down this in your notebook. Insoluble substances, the definition and the example. Then soluble and insoluble. You can see the diagram over here. Soluble substances, they are equally distributed in water. The particles are equally distributed in water, uniformly distributed. The substances will dissolve in a liquid. That means the particles, suppose you are dissolving sugar in water, sugar will be evenly spread in the water. So sugar particles will be evenly spread in water, and once it is dissolved, you can't see. So the substance which dissolve in a liquid soluble. Here next, insoluble. Here you can see the particles or the substance which you try to dissolve, it will settle down. So they are insoluble. The substance will not dissolve in a liquid and form precipitate, or you can see some residue, or you can see some particles. Like you have put some sand in water, it will not dissolve. So you can see some residue settling down. So sand is not soluble in water. That's why it is called as insoluble substance. Classification based on buoyancy. So please take down classification based on buoyancy. Now first of all you need to understand what is buoyancy. Buoyancy is the ability of something to float on water. So we are having one more criteria to classify substances. The ability of something to float on water. So every object or every substance will not float on water. Some will sink, some will float. So let us see the classification. Materials can be classified based on the sinking or floating property in water. So please take down this in your notebook. For example, a leaf floats on water. Don't you agree, children? Yes. A metal spoon will sink in water because it is heavier, this is more denser. Therefore, metal spoon will not float, it will sink in water. Leaves and corks float in water. So they will float in water. Even corks will float in water. Then rocks and coins sink in water because it depends upon the buoyancy, the ability of something to float on water. So you have to take down this definition, the ability of something to float on water, and you have to take down the examples here. Here you can see a picture here, a cork and coins. Water, you take a glass of water, you add and you put and see in that, cork will float and coins will sink. Density. Now let us see density. What is density? Density is defined as mass per volume. You can think of it as the amount of particles of a substance packed into certain amount of space. So every object have some particles packed in it, solid, liquid or gas, any state you take. So density is defined as mass per volume, how they are being packed in a certain amount of space. You need some space to pack up particles of substance or an object. So how much space it will take, that much amount of, suppose you take 1 gram of gold, how much space it will take to be packed in one that much amount of space. So density you can define, it is related to mass and volume. You have to take this down in your notebook. So every substance will have different densities. If the particles are packed tightly together, the density will be greater than if they are loosely packed with a lot of space around them. Density is the reason some objects sink and other objects float. So, if the particles are packed tightly together, the density would be greater. Like suppose you take 10 grams of iron and you take 10 grams of cotton material. So iron will be more denser than cotton. Why? Because the volume occupied will be very less. It is tightly packed and it will be, the particles are heavier. So mass will be heavier than the cotton. That's why it is denser and volume occupied will be very less. And it is very tightly packed. So if you take 10 gram of iron and 10 gram of cotton, then you can compare, iron will be more denser than cotton. So like that you can understand the concept. If particles are packed tightly together, the density would be greater. And if they are loosely packed with lots of empty space around them, so density is the reason some objects sink and some other objects float. So this is the main reason for the object to sink and float. The assignment of the day, children. Why is water called universal solvent? Universal solvent means it dissolves most of the substances. So why it is called universal solvent? I have given you the hint. You can find the answer. And so list 3 liquids which are miscible, that means soluble in water. So you have to list 3 liquids which are soluble in water, and among the following objects find the one which will float on water and give reason for it. So these are the objects given below. You have to find the one which will float on water, and if it floats on water, why it will float on water, you have to justify that. Paper boat, iron needle, leaf, feather, wooden plank, cricket ball. So you have to justify why it will float. Here we end with the session, children. I hope you have written down the points which was mentioned in while during explanation. So I hope you will have written everything. Have a nice day, children. See you in the next session.
Properties of materials. In this module, you will learn about some properties of materials that decide their uses. To hold a liquid, we generally use a tumbler made of glass, plastic or metal. We do not make a tumbler of cloth as it cannot hold a liquid. Similarly, our cooking vessels are often made of metals or their alloys. They cannot be made of paper. To make an object, we choose a material depending on the properties of the material and the purpose for which the object is to be made. There are many properties of a material that decide its uses. One such property is appearance. Materials usually look different from each other. Metals have luster, but wood and chalk do not. Even many metals lose their luster when acted upon by air and moisture. We notice luster only on their freshly cut surface. The next property is hardness. If we press certain materials with hand, some of them compress while some do not. Likewise, if we stretch certain materials with a metal key, some of them get easily scratched while others do not. Materials which can be compressed or scratched easily are soft. Examples are cotton, sponge, and a candle. In contrast, materials which are difficult to compress or scratch are hard. Examples are iron and stone. The next property is solubility. Let's try to dissolve a few materials in water. Some materials like salt and lemon juice dissolve completely in water. They are said to be soluble in water. On the other hand, some materials like sand and coconut oil do not dissolve in water even on stirring hard. Such materials are said to be insoluble in water. Like solids and liquids, gases too can be soluble or insoluble in water. Water usually has small quantities of certain gases dissolved in it. The most important gas is oxygen. Oxygen dissolved in water is very important for the survival of aquatic plants and animals. The next property is the floating or sinking in water. Let's take a few materials like a coin, a metal key, stones, dried leaves, and a piece of cork and drop them in a tumbler of water. Some of these materials float on the surface of the water like dried leaves and cork. On the other hand, others like coin, metal key and stones sink to the bottom of the tumbler. The last property is transparency. The transparency of a material is decided by the extent up to which things can be seen through it. There are certain materials through which things can be seen. These materials are called transparent materials. Examples are glass, water, air, and some plastics. On the other hand, there are some materials through which things cannot be seen. These are called opaque materials. Examples are wood, cardboard, cotton, and metals. There are also some materials through which things can be seen but not clearly. Such materials are known as translucent materials. Examples are oiled paper and some plastics. In this module you have learnt about some properties of materials that decide their uses like appearance, hardness, solubility, floating or sinking in water, and transparency.